What's up, keys player? It's me, Talia Keys. Nice to see you all. I have to say,
after a keyboard?
What was that?
Were you named after the keyboard? That's my first question.
Yes and no.
Thought so.
No, I was named probably after some Irish islands. You know, it comes somewhere from Ireland. And Alicia Keys that's not really Alicia Keys' last name, y'all. But why do you think Alicia Keys goes by Alicia Keys? Anyone in the class want to answer, Erin?
Probably because she plays piano, right?
Yes. Right. When vocals, we talk about stage names, but not often do keyboardists get stage names. And I think that's amazing that Alicia, I once knew her real name. I don't right now, but it's not Alicia Keys. All right. This week's lesson was about how to look up piano covers. And specifically, we learned how to play one of the hardest, but also one of the more easy songs, Lean on Me. Did anyone get a chance to watch it and try those chord shapes? Yeah, nice. Hillary, how did you feel about those chord shapes? And is there something that you notice about the chord shape?
I felt like they were pretty easy, and I've never really played piano other than just like one note at a time, and like I have the letters on my keys and everything. But the fact that the chord shape, like your hand stays in the same shape as you move it from place to place, and that's similar to like playing guitar when I play bar chords. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it is way cool. So if you can remember like your finger patterns, when I say a pattern, it's when I say a pattern, it's like the relative space between your hand, your notes that you're playing, right? So if you're going to start your pattern somewhere, say we start on the E, or put our right thumb on our E. I'm going to switch my camera too. Hold on, I'm getting fancy, y'all. If we start with our thumb on our E, and we put, now this is once again up to you. I like to use my pointer finger because my hands are weird, but my pointer finger on my G, and then my pinky on the C. And if you can just remember this pattern for this song specifically, that's what the entire song does. You're just taking your hand and moving it between your starting point. Your thumb is starting somewhere else. But if you slowly count, anyone know how many keys are between my thumb and my pointer finger? How many keys is that? Someone saying 1. Are you saying 7? Between my thumb and my pointer.
Oh, I missed the question altogether.
That's okay.
I thought you meant like between like a A and an A.
Oh no, yeah.
Okay.
There's like 12. There's 2 notes, right? So if I just remember that I'm always gonna have 2 notes in between, it's just all about memorizing the patterns. But did anyone, Jack, did you get a chance to try playing Lean on Me? Is there anything you noticed about it when you were playing or learning it?
Yeah, I mean, I won't do it right now, but I liked that I was able to keep my fingers in the same positions while doing it. And I particularly liked the slowdown method that you showed that you learned from Hillary.
Yeah. I know that blew my mind. I had no idea you could do that. And it's crazy how it makes it easier.
Yeah, because the one I chose is Nick Cave, Into My Arms. And it was from this. So I chose the same teacher or whatever that you showed in your instruction, where it showed kind of like Rock Band, where it comes from. And it was so hard because I did the opposite of what you said at first, where I just went all the way through, and it was like stressful because once you miss one, I'm like, oh shit, I'm stuck. But when I slowed it down and paused it, it was much better. So that's
patience,
like.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you were to try and study for a test and study the entire book in one day and then take your test, you're probably not going to do very good at that test.
Right.
But if you take a week and each day take a section to learn, That's how I learn my songs. You know, when I do a tribute set and I have to learn 24 songs and I have to learn the solos to them or the keyboard voicings to them, I break it down. I'm like, all right, I'm going to learn the basic chord patterns first, right? I'm going to learn my lyrics second. I'm going to make sure I can do those two things together. Then I'm going to add my fancy stuff, which is some of the other things or the other parts, and break it down by verse, by chorus. Think about your intros, like think about little things you're going to do. I'm really excited for the lesson that will be live tomorrow night. I ended up teaching it as well. It was just happened, but what is really cool is I'll show you some tricks. I show you my favorite piano tricks and how to freestyle and play. So say your jam is all just jamming, or your band is all playing in A, it shows you how to play with them, which is cool. But lean on me, let's just like start off real slow, because this is what's really cool is it just walks up 4 chords, right? We start on a C chord. Does anyone notice what's weird about that first C chord? Let me go down to my other camera. My thumb's on my E. Wait a minute. Wouldn't that make this an E chord? Right? Does anyone notice? But where's my C being played? Can anyone tell me which one's my C? Milan just said my pinky, right? So this is what it's called an inverted chord. And piano is really cool like this, because to play inverted chords with guitars is like next to impossible. You'd have to like flip your guitar upside down, right? This is basically just taking the chord and giving it a different voice, the voice. So this is still a C major. And that's where it starts. And then we go up to our F. Same pattern. My thumb is on my F. My pointer is on my A. Does everyone know where their A is? You can look at my screen. If you can't see it, go to your 3 black keys. Count up your keys, 1, 2. Your A is right after that second black key. Then you move that up to the next white key, and we're skipping black keys. Is another reason why I like this, and it's easy. It's all on the same pattern. So my thumb is now, well, let's go back. I'm gonna go all the way back. Can everyone play their inverted C? Do we feel like we get that? Give me a thumbs up if you can do your inverted C. Nice, Kashmir. You feeling good, Jack? All right. So can anyone tell me what chord this might be called? It's inverted. My pinky is on the root note instead of my thumb. So who knows what this is? If it's one note up from your C, and if you're doing your ABCs, what's the next note?
D.
Hillary. What was that?
D.
D. Yep, exactly. So that's a D. Now I'm going to start. The next one is on your next white key. Your thumb is on your G. Your next finger is on a B, which again, these 2 notes have 2 keys in between them. Actually, no, 1, 2, 3. Wait. I was wrong. I'm confusing you all. Hold on. It still is that same pattern. There's more keys, so don't listen to me there. But your thumb is on your G, your pointer is on your B, and your B, if you go back to your 3 black keys, your B is just up from that 3rd black key, B. My pinky is on an E, so what chord does that make this?
E.
Here.
That's the E.
E. Nice. See, you're getting it.
And it's an inverted E because our pinky's on the E, right? Instead of our
Yep,
thumb.
an inverted E.
I'm getting it.
And then it goes back down. If you did get a chance to, because I didn't want to teach you the whole lesson since that fella already took the time to teach the whole lesson. And so if you finish my lesson, I highly encourage going and taking the rest of the lesson from him, because it teaches you the rest of the pattern. But so say we slow it way down. We're starting on this. I'm gonna pull up some lyrics. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm getting fancy. All right, can everybody see that? Yeah, I've pulled up my chord sheet here. And now that I know these patterns, I know what to play. It's not telling me what to play, but it's telling me my notes. So I know sometimes in our, well, sometimes in our lives. You know what? This one doesn't show the passing notes. I pulled up the wrong one. I apologize about that. But let's just practice doing this and then I'll find the other one. Stop share. So everyone will go real slow. We're gonna just go up between those notes from your C all the way up to your F, okay? So C, now go up to your D, right? Go up to your E, go up to your F. And your F is your thumb on your A, your pointer on your C, and your whatever finger on your F, whatever can reach comfortably. Does everyone know where those are? Shell put in a good point in our group on Facebook that you can take Scotch tape and you can put tape on your keys and mark what notes they are. Sometimes when you are learning and you look down at your keyboard, you're like, they all look the same. How do I tell this apart? So it does really help to make a visual cue. So when I do say, hey, play a C, you could look down and play me an octave C. So we're gonna try doing that, just walk up real slow again. Start on your E, or sorry, not your E, your C, inverted C. And then go up. And just practice walking up again. You stop there, you stop on your F. And then you remember, and since I don't know this, I'm having unstable internet right now, I apologize. Maybe you should do yours. It's probably two of us on here. But for me, because I haven't played it, it takes me a while. So if you just practice doing those. Go whatever speed you can. Does anyone notice anything about those walk-ups? Is there something different about them than the first notes you're playing? As in timing, maybe, of how long you hold them out? In the songs, if you think about it. Aaron.
Something about quarter notes and eighth notes. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I haven't even counted it, so I can't tell you. But all I'd like to say is that part goes faster.
Yes.
That part changes faster. Right. Or the ascending part. Yeah. So if you go 1, oh, my bad. 1, 2. Yeah, I think those are 1 and 2 and 3. 3 and 4 and bum, 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 bum. So yeah, it's a different timing. So you're not playing like sometimes in my life. Like, how sad would that be? It would be sad, you know? So you're doing it. And that's one of my favorite things about the piano is that it is a percussive instrument. Don't forget that. You are drums. Piano is a percussion instrument. It is a drum instrument. It's to be an accent. It's to add different soundscapes and different melodies to the songs. But sometimes in my life, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. At the end, all you do is hold those sorrow. So if you keep learning, I'm not here to teach you this whole song. I'm just here to teach you like that songs are patterns. Once you learn the pattern of your chord shapes, you know, it's just memorizing where your hands go and also the rhythm. So if I were to play like this. What's different about that? Anyone?
It was kind of like more rhythmic, more like shorter. I don't know how to explain it, but like shorter notes rather than letting them ring out longer.
Does it make the song feel
Yeah, we're losing you a little bit on your internet connection, but I think you asked if it made the song feel different, and yeah, absolutely different.
if I do it like that? And you all are still frozen.
You're good now. I wonder if Milan and you can't be on at the same time or something. I think Talia's gonna rejoin. Probably.
I agree.
I think she's just
Yeah.
starting.
Cash,
I'm gonna
were you
keep-
able to play the song at all? Cash, did you play Lean on Me?
No, not really.
Not really?
No.
Are you playing keys in your band or are you going to go with guitar?
I'm going with guitar, but it's just better to learn what your other bandmates are doing, so it makes it easier. So.
Totally. That's good. Awesome.
Let Talia back in. There you go, Talia. We can see you, but you're muted. So just unmute.
Sorry about that, y'all.
No, it's all good.
We're getting. Does anyone have questions about this song or just like, you know, about rhythmic patterns or any questions about the covers you're learning?
Talia, how did you get better at holding the shape of your hand as you move it? Like, do you have any exercises for like, cause I'll move it and slide, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, just keep like start down low on your piano with your same hand shape, whichever hand shape you want to make, and move up and in every single key. I mean, that alone will take you 15 minutes to get through doing that. Let me show you. Can I show you guys just an easier? Courtney showed it to us, but I want to remind you all too. An easier way to play this, an easier chord shape, is to play the regular chord shape, not the inverted chord shape. So if I'm playing and is this working better? Am I glitchy or? Okay, good.
You're good.
Thank you. So if I'm playing a C, my thumb is on my C, my root note. My pointer is on my E, which is just up from my 2. If I'm the 2 black keys, C, E. And then my pointer is on, or sorry, my ring finger is on my G. Can everyone play that 3-note chord? So that one is one of my favorites. Just practice right now, going up, go to the lowest C you have on your keyboard. Mine's way down here. And we're not gonna worry about the black keys right now, okay? We're just gonna take this same chord shape and go up as high as you can on your keyboard, okay? So everybody do it. Your hand's gonna hurt. And the more you do it, the faster you can get at doing it. And see, if you get going too fast, you make a mistake. All right, I need to dial it back. Start slow. work your way up. And that with piano, that is your chord shape for C major. But if I play that same chord shape on my D, what does that sound? Does anyone, that D, does it sound as happy as that C? No, right? If I play that same pattern on my D, it's sad. That is because it is a D minor. And what I can urge more than anything, I think I talked about it in this lesson, is to look up those diagrams that show you each of the chords. Print one of those out and put it on your piano and just practice making every single chord shape that it tells you, and trying to memorize it. Because I wish that this pattern was major the whole way up. That would be easy, right? That would just make your life easy, but it's not. So it's memorizing which ones are major and which ones are minor. So start with your C and work your way up. And so same thing with Bill Withers. If I wanted to play it this easier way, sometimes in my life. So you could play it this same way too, doing the same thing. You start on your C, you do the same pattern on your D, it's a D minor. You do your same pattern on your E, which is an E minor. And then you do your same pattern on an F. What does that sound like to anyone? What does this F sound? Major or minor, if you had to guess?
Major.
La, 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 la. Hillary?
I'm happy, so I'm gonna go with major.
Yes, exactly. It sounds happy. But what if I go down to this E? What does that sound like? Happy or sad?
Sounds like depression.
Exactly. Sounds like depression. Same pattern up, one note is happy, one down is sad. What's kind of cool when you're going to write your original songs, I do want you all to take into account majors and minors, because you can start a song in C major, la 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 la, and then you can go to a D minor, la 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 la. And that's what this song Lean On Me does. It starts in a major, sometimes minor, minor, to another major. But piano's cool because your voicings give the song a whole different feel. What's another way I can play Lean On Me if I wanted to simplify it? If anyone watched the lesson, what's another way you can do it? Jack.
Using one finger, just.
Yes. I love it. See, it's simple. And especially if you have a big band or it's a really quiet part and you want the vocals to really stand out, sometimes just those one notes can sound really good. And then when the chorus gets really big, go to your voicing. Bum, 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 bum. Then it makes those stand out even more. And how Jack did that is he just started on his C and played C, D, E, F. That's just walking up 4 white keys. C, C, D, E, F, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D. That's that whole riff. That's a riff, if you were wondering.
Talia, one thing that I was trying was to just instead of just doing with one hand like the C, E, G, like the regular shape, I do that with my right hand, but with my left hand I was playing just the C, like one note, so playing like one to do like a bass line.
Yeah.
Kind of like, right? Oh, you can't hear mine because I'm in my headphones. But like you walk up with your one finger on your left as you walk up with your right hand. And
Exactly.
I thought that sounded way cooler than just doing the right hand only.
Yeah,
That's what helps me, because my wrists, I can't do both. I want to do chords on both, but that's the method I do, with just one finger on my left hand while doing the chords on my right.
exactly. And a lot of the best piano players do that, where they're not playing a whole lot with their left hand. Generally, it's one note, but it might be moving between 2 notes or something. Because if you are playing, like if I'm doing this, right? That's a lot of notes I'm throwing at you. That's a lot of muddiness that I would add to the group. But say I've got my bass player going boom, 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 boom. You see, like you're kind of adding just the flavor. Like the piano is the flavor. It's the sauce on top. It's the cherry on top of the cake. Like piano is cool like that. I talk about piano sounds in my next lesson too, but have you begun to explore your piano sounds that you have on your keyboards? Yeah. Does anyone have a favorite piano sound that they have found? When I was a kid and I got my first piano, that was like my favorite thing, was to go through every single sound and then figure the one that I liked the best. Because you'll notice some sounds do a lot with just a little, right? You can play one note with some sounds and it sounds like you're playing a bunch. Hillary, do you have one you like?
My keyboard
I can't hear you.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, nice.
Okay, I have to switch back and forth for my mic. So my keyboard has a whole bank of like synth sounds. So let me show you a couple that I've been messing around with a little bit. Let me switch this back.
That's if Van Halen covered the song. But that's totally. Outer space. Yeah. I could hear a total like doom synth pop version of that song played with that keyboard sound. Kashmira.
So I have this kind of like drum beat thing, so it's like that. Kind of, can you hear that?
Yeah, the drums.
Yeah.
So do you use that to practice playing to them? Like you put the drum beats on and you can play to it?
Yeah.
That's sick. That's way cool. And it's great to practice to a drum beat. And that's another thing I talk about in the next lesson is finding music that you can practice your chord changes with timing, right? Any questions? Are you learning any covers on the keys yet, Kashmira?
Not really.
That's okay. Are there any artists that you have thought about that you want to learn?
No.
Not yet. All right. Well, if you hear a song on the radio or you hear something you want to learn it, we definitely can help you. Jack, do you want to show us what you were working on with was it Nick Cave? Is that who you said?
I have it written down at work, and I practice without the keyboard while I'm at work to practice with finger movements, but I haven't. I'm not at a place, but I will do it soon.
Okay, that's all right.
I should have brought the papers because then I would do it. But I'm still doing it in a slow speed. So when I get, I could do collab. I gotta do it right now.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh. No. Where is it? All right. Last week
You nailed it last week.
I had I'll put it on mute and then I'll remember it and then I'll jump back in.
All right, cool. I love it. Have you thought about your sounds yet too? I know you're practicing, so when you come back, let us know if you thought about sounds for your original. But yeah, when I want to learn something on the piano and there's not a piano lesson, what do you think is a good resource? If I don't have a video that I can find on YouTube, what's something I can look up? Anyone? We talked about it already. You can look up what are called chords, right? And often I look up a guitar chord. So that's what I did here. I'm going to share the screen again. Oh, it's gone. I closed it. Never mind. I just Googled lean on me guitar chords, and say I didn't learn that thing. I couldn't look it up on the playlist. I'm going to pull this up and show y'all. But say my friend's like, hey, I want to play Lean On Me tonight at band practice. My homework that I could do is Google Lean On Me guitar chords. And see how I just type it in the search bar here on Google. I've already looked at it. And the least I could do to practice is listen to the song, play some Bill Withers, and just try to follow it by reading these chords that you see. And say I want to eliminate these passing notes. This makes this cover a lot easier if I eliminate my passing notes and I just go between my C, sometimes in our lives, to my F, right? Does everyone know how to go between their C and their F? F. We all have pain. Back to the C. We all have sorrow. And if I at least look up how to play an E minor on the piano and write notes down and do that homework before band practice, I know at the very least I can try and follow along and play with them. And guess what? Sometimes you learn that the chords that they tell you are wrong. And that's because people are human and they make mistakes and they hear things differently. That one's way off. All right, so it's not working. I should have done my homework and pulled it up before. I apologize. The one I used in the video was the one that's right. So if you want to know, you can go back. We put the link in the YouTube. But you can simplify it. So all I'm doing is, sometimes in my life, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. It's supposed to go from E to D. Sorrow. And it's the same finger shape. So you can practice that when you get time. Jack, do you remember your part of your riff? All right, let's hear it.
Turn the volume up.
Let me know if you can hear it.
Yeah.
Inducing.
Yada yada.
What is that from?
It's the best song in the Mormon hymn book.
The one
Nice.
about the
Called If You
planet.
Could Hide to Kolob,
Oh, I love it.
which
could
is
turn
the
it in-
nearest planet to where God lives in Mormon world.
They make
So
a great metal
hey,
song.
play that and put a synthesizer sound with it.
Showman, we don't know if it'll fit into what we've constructed for the song, but if we're trying to see if we can incorporate kind of like solos of sorts. So I'm
Yep.
see if I could transition from our chords to that, but we'll see if it gets that. So that won't be the last time you hear that.
Okay, cool. And if you, like I was saying, if you put some synth on it or something, you could turn it into a sci-fi space rock
That's true.
opera. You know, I mean, just to know that the piano will totally change the soundscape of a song, and the piano can dictate, the whole vibe. And that's why I love it. Like, you can give it more of a bluesy sound or more of a country sound. You can do, and then that is all in your sound banks, just having different things. And also, Jack, too, so say your song is in a different key. Who remembers what a key is? Anyone? Oh, we talk about it in the lessons. It's all right. The key, not a key of your piano, but the key of a song. If I say this song is in the key of E, generally, what does that mean?
Isn't that how it starts? That's where your song starts?
Yep. Most of the time. And most of the music we're going to play and learn, if you say this song is in the key of E, it's in E. Jazz is the exception. A lot of jazz music will start on a different chord, but the whole song rotates around the E chord. It might not start in E, but the song will rotate around it, or the notes that are played rotate around it. So if we say, this song's in E, say Jack and Shell write their song in the key of E, but the collab line is in a different key. It's in the key of C. You can do what's called making a harmony. Does anyone know what a harmony is?
I know what it sounds like.
Yeah. So a harmony is just different notes that complement the notes that are happening. So what I'm saying is you can ask us, Jack, say, hey, it's not working. Well, we can say, what key is it in? We would then you would start your collab riff on that key instead of starting it where you were starting it. So you can, what it's called, transpose it, but it's the same pattern. That's the thing, is you're going to remember your same pattern. And I know this is so confusing when you talk about it, but when you actually stop after this lesson and be like, okay, I'm going to practice the same pattern in different starting points, that's how you can transpose something to be in the key that you want it to be in. Yeah. So you can quote that in whatever key you guys decide your song's in. We can just help you figure that out.
Yeah, that totally worked. It sounded kind of weird, but it worked.
Yes.
What's your normal starting note for that, Jack? When you were playing it before? D?
D, then C sharp, I guess.
Okay.
Yep. Good job,
And then
C sharp.
B, 3 B's, A, D, E,
Okay.
E, F, F, E, D, B, A.
Nice. I wanna play it with some different sounds after this because I think it's really funny.
Yeah, it's got an eerie sound to it, you know?
Yeah.
So does anyone have any questions about anything? If not, I think we can probably wrap things up. I just say with piano, because this is not my primary instrument. I actually I started when I was 9, and I couldn't last longer than 3 months because my piano teacher was 90 years old and he smelled really bad. And I just was little and I couldn't pay attention. And I wish I kind of had stuck with it because the piano is one of the coolest instruments on the planet. It is endless. The beautiful thing about it is all your notes are laid out in front of you and they don't change, right? If you find every C on your piano, every C looks the exact same. It's just in a different position. If you find every D, they all look the same. And so the piano is rad because a guitar, you have to jump from string to string. It doesn't just nicely go from your lowest note up to your highest note. So piano can look intimidating, but it's often one of the easier instruments. If I say, hey, play me the highest C chord, I'm gonna do this right now. Play me the highest C chord you possibly can on your piano. Everyone find the highest one they can do. So your thumb will start on your C. Yes.
Whoops, I meant to be turned down.
That's totally Van Halen. I love it. It's incredible. Yes.
Totally.
Or like the Utah Jazz, we're getting ready to rumble. Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
So play your highest C. Now I want you to find your lowest C chord. Find the lowest one you can possibly play. Yeah. Now go between your lowest and your highest. All right, and one last little trick of the trade, something I love. If you're starting out a song and your drummer counts you in, 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm gonna show my hands. Say my song starts in C, right? And my drummers count me in 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna hit that 1. I'm gonna end and hit 1 on 1, hit my C. So 1, 2, 3. Just try practicing counting yourself 1, 2, 3 and sliding into whatever note you want to slide into. And like people are always like, that sounds so cool. You're just doing that. You're just sliding your hands across. Cool. I'm super proud of y'all. Piano is rad. And it can be intimidating, but don't be intimidated by it because you can always simplify it by just playing how many notes?
3 or 1.
3, 1. Yeah. You can simplify it by playing one note, and you can simplify it or make it more interesting however you want. And you can develop your voice on the piano. So homework for you to do is I want you to listen to some different styles of music that have different kinds of piano sounds. And you'll see this in the video, so you'll see that. But I want you to listen to some electronic music, any kind. Just look up an electronic dance music. You'll hear synthesizers galore. A lot of the bass lines are played on pianos. They're not played with basses. Like, you can play the coolest bass line on your piano. It's ridiculous. I want you to look up some reggae music and then listen to some good old rock and roll. Look, Ray Charles, all right? Look up some Ray Charles and pay attention to what he is doing on his piano, and just listen to the type of patterns he's playing and the simpleness of it. All right. Have fun learning. Your lessons will be live tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Bye, Talia. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Thank